Good morning. Good morning. How is everyone today? Hope your week has gone well. Welcome to Passion, Purpose, and Possibilities. If you're watching this live, say hello. If you're watching it on the replay, still please say hello. Love to know how you're doing and what are your plans for this Friday? What are your plans for this weekend? What are you doing today to make next week better? What are you doing today to live your passion, your purpose, and your possibilities? So today, I just want to jump on a little bit and talk about being selfish. Now, that might sound bad when you first hear it, or not really the right way to look at things, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to talk about the positive side of being selfish, and that is taking care of yourself first. Using the analogy of the airplane and the oxygen mask. If case of emergency, oxygen masks will fall from overhead compartment. Make sure you put yours on first before assisting others. That whole drill. And as you know, the reason they say that is so that you're good. You're no service, not to sound blunt or rude or anything, but you're not going to be much help if you're not able to do anything. And so that's what I want to say. Talk about taking care of yourself. Now, there are several aspects of that, and I'll have a guest host on here coming up soon, and we'll talk more about this. And if you have any questions or things like that, I'd love for you to jump on. Put them in the comments. We'd love to answer them live on the show. But taking care of yourself. Making sure you're eating well, making sure you're healthy, making sure your mental game is where it needs to be. Doing things to make sure you're where you're in the best capability to help others. Now that's not implying that you neglect serving others or you're get spoiled or pampered, to the extreme, but take care of yourself. Whether that's taking a break, watching a movie, just needing some time to relax, going on a vacation, resting, going to see the doctor, reading a good book. There's several different ways that you can take care of yourself. Because you want to be able to help serving people, to help others. I think from my experience, the majority of people want to serve others. They want to help them through charities, through maybe a church organization, through community organization, maybe anonymously. But I believe that generally people like serving others. And, let's say I wanted to go mow someone's lawn or shovel some snow because winter's here, snow's falling soon on the valley. If I wanted to go shovel snow, I can't really do that if I have a fever, or if I am so completely exhausted and drained that, I'm not going to be any good at it. So all I need to take care of myself, make sure I'm in the right place so that I can serve others better. What are some ways that you take care of yourself? What are some ways that you be selfish but not selfish, if you know what I mean? And just wanted to jump on for a quick minute and talk about that. Hope it helps. It's okay to give your permission to say no sometimes. It's okay to give your permission to relax. It's okay to give your permission to take a nap or to go on a vacation. There are circumstances and occasions that it's okay to do those things. So think about that. Hope that helps. Again, if you have any questions or if you jump on the replay, I'd love to answer any questions I can. See your comments, say hi. Thanks for jumping on. Make sure you go live your passion, fulfill your purpose, and explore those possibilities.